A use of force expert concluded today Aurora Police officers repeatedly violated department policies in the confrontation that ended in Elijah McClain's death. That testimony came in the trial of two officers detained and subdued McClain in August of 2019. McClain was unarmed, not breaking any laws when he was stopped by police. He died after Aurora officers placed him in a chokehold and paramedics injected him with ketamine. Investigative reporter Kevin Vaughn has been in court today and joins us now from Adams County. Kevin, what did you learn?
Hi, Alex. This jury for days has been hearing a lot of tedious testimony that attorneys refer to as foundation laying. Today they heard the prosecution begin to build their case in earnest. Suspended Aurora Police Officer Randy Roedema and former officer Jason Rosenblatt face charges of reckless manslaughter and second-degree assault in the death of Elijah McClain. In recent days, jurors heard hours of testimony about Aurora Police Department policies. Today, a use of force expert testified these officers repeatedly violated them. Dr. Mark Brown said they didn't de-escalate the situation. They failed to monitor McClain's medical condition after trying twice to control him with a neck hold, and they ignored his repeated statements that he couldn't breathe. All were violations of department directives. Prosecutor Jonathan Bungie also hit on violent resistance, one of the factors that justifies using force, and set up his question with a clip of body camera footage.
I intend to take my power back.
In your view, was that statement, I intend to take my power back, violent resistance?
No, sir. It wasn't violent resistance.
Why?
Watching the body camera footage and looking at his actions prior to that, during the initial contact, and then when they walked him over to the wall, onto the grass and then to the wall, he didn't offer any violent resistance, didn't make any threats. When he was contacted by the officers, he didn't turn to square up, he didn't drop his items, he didn't swing the bag that he had that had 3 iced teas in it. He didn't attempt to strike them with the cell phone or anything else. He just told them he wanted to go home.
We should note that the defense attorneys got that same expert to acknowledge that if Elijah McClain tried to grab an officer's gun, as they've alleged, they would have been justified in using a lot more force than they did use. The jury, however, heard no testimony about whether this expert believes Elijah McClain actually did that. We should note that there's another police officer set to go on trial related to Mr. McClain's death in mid-October, and then 2 paramedics scheduled for trial in late November. Alex?
Yeah, definitely important to note, because when it's time for the defense to make their case, we can see them squarely placing the blame on the ketamine that the paramedics administered, not the chokehold.
That's right, and one medical expert has already testified that that ketamine was the driving force in Elijah McClain's death.
All right, Kevin, thanks for the update today.